Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
हेलो बचवा, हेलो बचबे। ईश्वर आप सबों को खूब सुखी रखे। Sorry for not being with you for the last 4 days. It was because of bad weather condition and a serious skin ailment with me. I've been suffering from that serious skin ailment for the last 4 days, so I couldn't be with you. But my love for you is intact. It keeps on throbbing. No word can express my love for you. And that throbbing love forces me to remind you of the first internal assessment test to be held on 28th of this month. Never forget about that test. 28th जून को आपका टेस्ट होगा ही, और आपके आंसर शीट्स मैं उसी दिन कलेक्ट करूंगा। ठीक है, आज थोड़ा सा सिलेबस के बारे में बता दूं। सप्लीमेंट्री में लेसन नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4 ट्रायम्फ ऑफ सर्जरी से लेकर क्वेश्चन ऑफ ट्रस्ट तक चारों लेसन के क्वेश्चंस हैं। और मेन कोर्स बुक में थर्ड चैप्टर जो है आपका, उसमें 2 पार्ट्स हैं, हिज फर्स्ट फ्लाइट एंड द ब्लैक एरोप्लेन। द ब्लैक एरोप्लेन तक सिलेबस है, लेटर टू गॉड से लेकर वहां तक। सच्चाई है 20-25 स्टूडेंट्स, they are keeping themselves one step ahead of me, and they have done up to the black aeroplane. So now come to today's task. We are to recite, read and enjoy the poem A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris today. So this poem is a contrast. This poem, look here at the word contrast. You can use it both as a noun and a verb. And listen to the sentences spoken by me just now carefully. This poem presents a big contrast between a tiger locked inside the cell of a Jew and a tiger wandering, and a tiger roaming freely like a king in the jungle. This poem is a contrast. This poem is a big contrast between a tiger locked inside the cell of a Jew and a tiger roaming freely like a king in a jungle, in the jungle. What does this mean? यह कविता एक टाइगर जो किसी जू के अपने छोटे से कमरे में लॉक्ड है, और एक टाइगर जो फ्रेम अपने किंगली गेट के साथ, राजे का सिंह का एक गेट होता है, गेट भाव भंगिमा, पोस्चर एंड जेस्चर, उसको अगर आप बंद भी कर देंगे केज में तो ही डजंट वॉक, ही स्टॉक्स। A tiger stalks. A tiger strides no matter whether he's wandering, roaming freely in a jungle or he has been locked inside a cage, he has been locked inside a cell. So this point contrast these two different situations, एक दूसरे के बरअक्स रख कर, और हमको आपको ये कविता बताता है दोनों के मेंटल स्टेट में क्या डिफरेंस है, दोनों के क्या एटीट्यूड है. So this poem is a contrast. This poem is a big contrast between a tiger locked inside a cell of a zoo and a tiger roaming freely like a king in a jungle. So here in this sentence, this word contrast has been used as a noun. This poem is a contrast. This poem is a naturally noun. Now listen to the second sentence. This poem contrasts. So, this poem contrasts. This poem contrasts tiger locked inside a zoo and a tiger roaming, wandering freely. के मध्य अंतर दिखाता है, विरोधाभास दिखाता है. Okay? So this poem is contrast. This poem contrasts. So, now something about the central idea of the poem. So this poem examines. This poem examines how animals feel when they are in a zoo. This poem examines how animals feel when they are locked inside a zoo. So since they have been robbed of their freedom, since they have been robbed of their freedom, उनसे उनकी स्वतंत्रता छीन ली गई है. कभी हमसे आपसे हमारी आपकी स्वतंत्रता छीन ली जाएगी तब फील करेंगे आप. It is better to die than to be a slave. Very recently we have learned the tremendous value of freedom in our life through that great extract from the great autobiography of Nelson Mandela. The whole extract revolves around the tremendous value of freedom placed in our life. So this poem examines how animals feel when they are locked inside a zoo. So since that freedom has been taken away from them, that freedom has been robbed off from them. Since they are robbed of their freedom, they feel grieved, they feel they feel grieved, they feel deprived. So this poem examines how animals feel inside a zoo. Since they are robbed of their freedom, they feel utterly grieved. They feel badly deprived. But the tragedy is we cannot do without a few Jews. We need them for biological observation. We need a few Jews for scientific study. So in a subtle way, महीन तरीके से, in a subtle, be silent, SUBTLE, in a subtle way, the poet wants to tell us that we should provide ample facilities and freedom to animals living in a zoo. Okay? This was something about the central idea, the theme of the poem. And now this poem keeps on shifting. The poem keeps on shifting from a zoo to a jungle and again comes back to zoo. The first stanza, the fourth and fifth stanza, these three stanzas, the first, the fourth and the fifth stanzas deal with a tiger living in a zoo, and second and third stanza deal with a tiger living in a jungle. Okay? So there are certain phrases in this poem, and if you fail to understand and feel those phrases, you cannot have a better understanding of the poem. So we will do the phrases one by one. What happens? The first stanza tells us, the first stanza of this poem tells us that the tiger paces, the tiger stalks, the tiger stalks, the tiger strives the limited space of its shell with quiet rage. The tiger paces, the tiger walks in, the tiger, but here the most suitable word would be the tiger stalks. A king is a king, a tiger is a tiger. A tiger cannot abandon his tigerness. I'm afraid this word is not in dictionary, but you can use it. A king, no matter if he is behind boss, he cannot abandon his kingly manners. So is the case with this tiger. He is locked inside a cage. He is locked inside the cell of a zoo. But he stalks the limited space. He strives the limited space of that cage or that cell with quiet rage. Vivid stripes means बड़ा जीवंत, जिंदा, सुस्पष्ट. He gave us a very vivid account of his experiences. बड़ा graphic description, बड़ा जिंदा, स्पष्ट, जीवित, vivid. तो उसके आप गौर करेंगे, उसके जो स्ट्राइप्स होते हैं, तो ब्लैक स्ट्राइप्स के येलो हाइड पे होता है, तो उसको दिखा रहा है कि द टाइगर इज लॉक्ड इनसाइड अ सेल ऑफ अ जू. हिज स्ट्राइप्स आर वेरी विविड, दूर से ही दिखे जा सकते हैं. यू कैन रिकॉग्नाइज दैट अ टाइगर इज stalking inside the cage because of his gait, because of the सुस्पष्ट, अंधे को भी दिख जाए, vivid stripes, but he is in quiet rage. Rage means fury, the extreme of anger. A quiet rage की meaning को समझो. He is in quiet rage. He is in a fury, he is very angry. He is in a fury. But since he has been locked, circumstances have Circumstances have forced him to remain inside a cell. He is angry, but he cannot express his anger. So his rage is quiet. So his rage is quiet. His fury is quiet rage. So his utter helplessness. He is angry. He is in a fury. But since he is locked behind the bars, he cannot show you your might. Just unlock the cage and look what a tiger is. He can show you your might, but since circumstances have forced him to remain behind the bars, he cannot express his might, he cannot express his anger. So the phrase quiet rage, this phrase expresses his utter helplessness. Quiet rage. गुस्सा तो है लेकिन quiet, without any sign, quiet rage. And look here. Now come to the second stanza and the third stanza. These two stanzas talk about how a tiger behaves when he is free, when he has not been locked inside a cell. Now he lurks. A tiger lurks, keeps on lurking, घात लगाकर बैठा रहता है, in search of fat deer, in search of a plump deer. He slides through long grasses. He slides through long grasses. He keeps on sliding through long grasses in search of a plump deer. When he is free, he is roaming, wandering, living, walking like a king. So what does he do? He lurks. He keeps on lurking. घात लगाकर बैठा रहता है. He keeps on sliding through long grass in search of a plump. What does he do when he is free? In third stanza we see he snarls. He roars. He can make you terrified. He makes people afraid, showing them his fangs. Fangs, टाइगर के जो यहाँ पे दो वाइट दांत होते हैं, his fangs, he claws. He can do those things to terrify people. And again in the second and third stanza, the second and the third stanza of the poem deal with a tiger when he is free. He lurks, he keeps on lurking, he slides, he lurks, घात लगाकर बैठा हुआ है. यूं ही देखेगा, he would take a mighty bounce on the deer. He slides through long grasses. He shows people his fangs, safed, canine-tipped claws to terrify people, to terrify other animals. Again, come to the Jew. He ignores video. Can you feel, can you say why a tiger inside a cell of a Jew ignores visitors? He is grieved, he is ashamed, his pride is hurt. He was thought to be a king of the jungle, but circumstances have forced him to leave behind the bars. He is ashamed. He is ashamed. So he ignores visitors. He does not stare at them. नजर नहीं मिलाता है. तो what does this phrase tell us? Again, like quiet rage, his utter helplessness, his grief, his anguished, grief, grieved. His self-pride is hurt. He's ashamed. He's ashamed of facing the eyes of the visitors. And in the last stanza, it shows his utter helplessness और सहायता का चरम. When the patrolling vehicles, patrolling cars go away, when the patrolling car goes away, he looks at the brilliant stars, he stares at the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes. This stanza, he's staring at brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes, shows his utter helplessness. He feels greatly grieved. He feels greatly anguished that tomorrow again he will have to embrace the same fate. He must have been thinking then that he was supposed to be he was the king. He was supposed to be the king of a jungle. But now he was behind the bars. He was locked in a cell. So once again, let me conclude the poem. This poem is a contrast. Contrast has been used as a noun. This poem is a big contrast between a tiger locked inside a cell of a Jew and a tiger roaming, stalking, striding like a king freely in a jungle. और this poem contrasts एक विरोधाभासी चित्र प्रस्तुत करता है between a tiger in a Jew and a tiger in a jungle. Now, what is the central idea, theme of this poem? This poem examines the sorrows, examines the mental state, this poem examines how animals feel inside a Jew. ठीक है? So since they have been robbed of their freedom, they must feel deprived, they must feel grieved. But the tragedy with mankind is that we need some Jews for biological observation, for scientific study. In a subtle way, the poet is suggesting to us to provide ample facilities and freedom to animals living in a Jew. Okay? Now this poem keeps on shifting from a Jew to a jungle, again back to a Jew. The first stanza and fourth and fifth stanza deal with a tiger in a Jew, and second and third stanza deal with a tiger in a jungle. Vivid stripes, vivid, intense, bright stripes, black stripes on the black hide of a tiger, and his rage is quiet. This phrase shows his grief. This phrase shows his anguish. This phrase shows his utter helplessness. His rage is quiet. And this lurking, घात लगाना, slide, तेज गति से ऐसे चलना, sliding, plump deer, stride, roaring, fangs, the white big canine teeth, claws, ignoring, he ignores it. He feels ashamed. He does not want to look at their eyes. It shows his utter helplessness, shame, hurt pride, hurt. उसका स्वाभिमान hurt हो गया. ठीक है? Staring with his brilliant eyes, the ultimate of disappointment, the ultimate of frustration, the ultimate of grief, the ultimate of anguish, the ultimate of helplessness. He must have felt at that moment that again, he who was supposed to lead a kingly life in a jungle would be forced to lead a life of a slave in the cell of the Jew. ये पोएम का एक्सट्रैक्ट चर्निंग करके प्लेट में, तो नीचे में क्या होता है पार्टी वगैरह में छोटा सा क्या टॉवेल वगैरह क्या रहता है हम नहीं जानते हैं, उस पर चम्मच देके इधर एक छोटा कटोरा में हनी देकर छोटा कटोरा में चीनी देकर आपको दिया गया है. फिर से याद दिला दूं 28th के एग्जाम के बारे में, ठीक है? और 20 स्टूडेंट्स, I tell you truly, are keeping themselves ahead of me. They have done the black aeroplane. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.